You hear of wars, you see people suffering on your phone screens, on your TV screens, but you don't know what it's going to be like if it hits you, if suddenly everything that you knew, everything that you relied on is just dust.
Hi everyone, my name is Bia, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Notes of Faith.
Hi everyone, it's Bia. Welcome to Notes of Faith. Today I wanted to bring to you the topic of fasting, but not just fasting, but pushing yourself to your extreme, to the extremes of your body, to live more minimalistically, to strip away all the excess, because I think truly in this time we have so much fluff, we have so many things, so many layers of things, and unless you fast, unless you get to the bottom of who you really are, you're never going to know what your faith is made of. Our faith is to be tried and is to be refined and perfected so that we know that it can stand the tests of time, of difficulty, of no matter what happens in the world, you're going to cling to your faith and you're going to know who your God is and the ways that He can deliver you, and you're going to know that you don't need any of this and you don't need the comforts of life, and you losing the comforts of life isn't going to challenge your faith, isn't going to shake you where you don't know what to do. The fact that we live such comfortable lives in this day and age just makes it so hard for us to know how strong we are in the spirit. We don't know what kind of faith we're carrying inside of us unless we've been through the difficulties. And in 1 Peter 1, it talks about how the trying of your faith is more precious than that of gold. And with gold, it's one of the most precious materials that we have on this earth, and because it's refined with fire and all the impurities are destroyed in the process, and at the end of it, the master, the maker, the jewelry maker can shape it to whatever shape it's meant to have, and its full shine, its full beauty, its full value is revealed. And the trying of our faith is so much more precious than that. And yet we live in a time where so many of us haven't seen wars with our own eyes. If you live in certain parts of the world, you hear of wars, you see people suffering on your phone screens, on your TV screens, but you don't know what it's going to be like if it hits you, if suddenly everything that you knew, everything that you relied on is just dust. And what skills are you going to have? Emotionally, how stable are you going to be? You don't have to be emotionally stable completely in those times, but if your faith is stable, if your faith is strong, the Lord is going to use you more greatly, and you're going to be able to regulate yourself for those conditions. When Jesus spoke in Revelation to, I think, the church of Laodicea, and it said that it was lukewarm, it lacked nothing, and it was just the people were full of comforts, and this was so bad for their faith. And if you look externally, it might seem like you're thriving, but really try to put yourself consciously, purposefully into situations where you are stripping your flesh, and this when I talk about fasting, and you're dedicating this time to spend with the Lord and ask Him about your faith. Ask how strong is your faith, how can you improve, how can you be stronger, what are your blind spots, because you're never going to know your blind spots unless you go through these seasons of refinement with the Lord. And so many of us, we're thrown into these seasons of refinement, whether we like it or not, because we're made to go through the hardships of life, and that brings us closer to God, that strengthens us. But we can also willingly decide to fast. We can decide to be more minimalistic, and maybe we don't need all the things that we think we need, and maybe we can try to learn some more skills that are more useful and less superficial, and really dig deep to find out what your faith is made of. Because if you want to stand in the end times, you will need to know that your faith is strong, and you're not going to deny it for anything.